Hi guys, this is Mark Black. Welcome to Mark Teaches Music and Promethean Studios. This is Promethean Studios winter music seminar. So we have two topics. This topic is called Only Three Chords. It's really super cool. Everything just about that we do is super cool. And I'm glad you're here. I want to welcome you here. And if you, it's any kind of seminar, any live stream, the best thing in the world is for you to ask questions, including, sadly, unrelated or only tangentially related. So I'm just saying, if you have a question, shoot it in there, and if it's just completely no way to answer it in this context, you know, we'll figure out something. Or you can send me an email at mark@dallasmusiclessons.com. So anyway, again, this is Mark Teaches Music. This is Promethean Studios, our teaching studio, my teaching studio. So welcome everybody, one of my students or guests, and we're going to talk, like I said, about three chords. Now, there's a link in the description of this video, of this live stream right there, a link to a handout that everybody should have. You should have it out. If you can print it, you should. If you can look at it and look at me, that's what you should do. It would be helpful, and I'll have a few little presentations here, but mostly it's monologuing, but you have that piece of paper so that you can see what we're talking about and keep it for later and be like, so basically we're getting to the idea. This is not the idea that most songs can be played with three chords. There's lots and lots of songs that could be played with three chords, and then just depends on how simplified you want to make them. You can, four chords or whatever. So that's not an incorrect concept, but that's not what this is about. This is about the idea that, and the true idea that in music, in the effects of music, there's only three kinds of chord sounds, three functions for chords. They only have three things, so they all fit in these various tubs, three tubs. And the specific chord, let's say an A flat chord, it might be any of the three types of chords depending on what key you're in. So it's not like minor chords are in this tub of chords. No. So we're going to discover that. So to start off with, sound-wise, there's nothing about how a note sounds, nothing that makes it an A or an E flat or F, other than comparatively speaking. Through the centuries, where A440 is vibrating currently in America at 440 times a second, that's changed tremendously. In Europe, they typically use a higher than 440, just like 442 or 443. And it's true that the higher the frequency is, a little more exciting sound, a little more driving sound. So sounds exist comparatively, and I'm talking about both as a pitch, the vibration point for an A or an F or a D, but also even the name or how that fits is all comparative. And so even people with perfect pitch basically have to learn to compare. They may hear absolutely, but their functionality is dependent upon them being able to say, okay, I hear this perfect sound, let's call it an E, I hear an E, and then for them to function, they have to connect that E to an A and then to another C, and that's an A minor chord. And I don't mean that they're harmed in any way. I mean, so they, in one sense, it's like they have hypersensitivity. So they have to make sure that they have that relative pitch, comparative pitch. So we're going to talk about that right now. So just to start with, now, I have a guitar. And the reason I have a guitar is because it's easy to reach. And I don't care about you seeing what the chords are on the neck, and I mean, like, you shouldn't care because it's a sound. So let's start by singing the note C. We're trying to see how these notes, the note C, you take it down here, or you sing it, of your girl, whatever you want. So listen to this sound. Sing this note and go da. Sing it again, da. And sing it again, da. Sing it again, da. Sing it again, da. Sing it again, da. Da. Sing it again, I want you to hear how this note, the sing note, ba, is changing. It's like the world is circling around us singing ba. And what I'm saying is that the way the C sounds changes depending on what notes are behind it. Ba. Let's sing again for me. Ba. All right, here's the last one. Ba. Which is this sound? La, la. Oh, sorry, I didn't like that. Da. That's correct, but anyway. So we'll leave it with that. So and there's just hundreds of positions for a C or an F or D or whatever. And what I'm saying is we say C, like, oh, that's our favorite buddy C, you know, but in many keys, C is a dissonance or a note you want to avoid, or it's a really pretty addition and whatever. So what I'm saying is just want to point out that the way this notes sound, and thus from chords are built from notes. Chord sound is dependent upon what's around them. You know, what was in front of them, what's behind them, and our ear compares those two. Now, I want to state for everybody, your ear is telling you all this stuff. If you do not like this sound, if you didn't like that sound, who told you that? Your mama? No, your ears told you. Your ear said, no, that's not, I don't like that. You know, or if it liked this one, or like this one, or like this one, you know, it's your ear, and of course this involves your brain, all kind of stuff. But all I'm saying is that, so it's all comparative. And I want to make another point, similar point. It's just to say, we can play songs in any of 12 keys. So I can go, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And I can go, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I can go, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And I go, out of tune. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. I can play, and not me, one can do a song in any of 12 keys. And that's because if we do it correctly, we keep the relationship, 4 half steps up, 2 half steps down, between all the notes the same, and then it comes out the same. And so it's the relationship of notes, the comparison of notes that works, and we can hear that, your ear. And we are in the business of this seminar is about educating your ear, which is already there. It's already, in other words, I didn't have to tell you, hey, don't like number 7, you know, or really think number 2 is cool. You know, you did. So I'm saying you're already hearing things, and the main thing we have to do is we have to teach your ear well. We have to teach your ear so it recognizes these sounds. So we want to turn that mass of all kind of different chords and stuff into a predictable set of chords that we can predict and be able to make our playing and singing better. And so our ear is giving us the information that we need to do that. So basically all of music breaks into 3 kinds of sounds. Now, if you have that, if you have your thing open, your handout open, it's basically going to say there's 3 kinds of sounds. There are diatonic or normative chords, there's motion chords, and there's color chords. Those are the kinds of sounds. And and this is on your sheet. Look quite like that because I'm just doing it. This is a block so you can see it very clearly. So point here is that, and listen, y'all need to say, first off, you need to ask your question. You put your question in right there so I can look at them. Number 2 is if I leave some screen off or on or something, just say so. Hey, fool, you forgot to change your screenshot. So whatever, and that's fine. So there's 3 sounds. Let's look at that again. Just because there's diatonic chords, which means these chords are using only notes in the key. Therefore, although there's tension and resolution and strength and weakness in there, in those chords, those diatonic chords using notes in the scale, still those chords relatively sound pretty comfortable because they're using notes in the key. Then there are motion chords, chords that your ear is saying, move off of me. As my phrase is, go away, son, you bother me. So when you hit these chords, your ear goes, go off of that chord. Don't stay there. Go someplace else. And then the third category is color chords, which are pretty and dramatic sounds that don't have a specific direction. They don't directly say, they sound cool, and you're like, well, that was cool, but they don't tell you, they don't answer themselves like, you should now go here. It's just more like, that was an interesting sound. So the foundation of all the music, 90% of all songs in every key, are the normative chords. And listen, let me tell you, when I was in music school, they call them the normative chords. That's all anybody ever said. Nobody said diatonic ever, one word. And now, I thought that was what everybody did. And then now, if you look up diatonic chords, normative chords on YouTube, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get my videos talking about them. So apparently that name was like written off or something. I think, and I can't even find the word diatonic very often. But the point is, if you build chords using only the notes in the scale, you have diatonic chords. This is just a name that you need to know. Diatonic chords, and I will probably say most of the time here today, normative chords, the normal notes, the normal chord notes. So, anyway, of the normative chords, the diatonic chords, there's 7 sounds. And 90% of all songs and 100% of many songs and most songs, are those normative chords, only using the notes of a scale. So it's easy. Now, it's a little hard to do, not very hard, but it's just a little bit hard to learn the scales. And so we're just going to talk about kind of a quick get in the ballpark on the notes of a scale. Now, the only reason we're getting the notes of the scale is not because we're trying to play scales. Heaven forbid that. No. But because we're trying to say, look, I can figure out what these chords would be without having to go through all the detail, getting every single scale right. I can be in the ballpark close enough to where I can start using what my ear was telling me, this information that my ear is telling me. So first off, scales use the letters of the alphabet. All the A scale uses the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A flat does. A does. They are add sharps and flats, but the fourth note of every A scale is a D. The fifth note of every E scale is a B. That's a fact. So the notes of a G scale, are G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's the notes of the G scale. Now, yeah, there's a sharp in there. And the notes of an F scale, all F scales, F natural and F sharp scales use F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Yes, there's sharps in there or flats in there. And believe me, your ear is going to holler at you, if you play it wrong. So, you don't have to be worried, oh my gosh, what if I get it wrong? Your ear will say, you fool, you should have played a sharp or something like that. And you can make that transition as you need to. But the point there of knowing what we just said is that every scale using a C, every scale using a C scale, C flat scale, C sharp scale, C natural scale, all goes C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And so you can start with that as a way to say, what's the 2 chord in the key of A? I don't know if it's A flat or A, but the 2 chord is some kind of a B, A, B. 1, 2. And your ear will tell you, and I just want to make this point. So here's a D chord. So if you're going to da 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 da, I'm singing an F natural, and I'm playing an F sharp, and my ear is not happening da da da. So I'm saying you're not going to just blissfully play a flat when you should have played a natural, or blissfully play a sharp when you should have played a flat. Your ear's going to go, what are you doing? And you can make that change then. Now, of course, you should learn, and you should learn from me, or you should learn from a book or whatever, the notes of the scale and how to find scales that's predictable and just exactly, it's logical, which is a good thing. You're happy that it's not just random. Some dude up in Oregon said, well, give that 17 sharps. That's not what they do. It's very predictable. But until you do that, you can just know that, the 7th note of a B scale is an A. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. 7 letters. And it may be an A, and it may be an A sharp, but you're in the ballpark. You're starting to work with the sound. So you can do that. So let's see here. So now why does this say this? So So when we play a song, this I'm gonna just follow what I have written here. I'm kind of surprised. So here's a song. Let's see if this is loud enough. Yeah. Okay. So this is a song. Now check it out. You can hear it. It's just using it's using the notes of a C scale. It's not changing chords. And I want you to notice it's pretty boring. But yeah, it sounds like could be a cool song. It's just missing some stuff, right? You know what I mean? I went down to the church to see my baby. You know, something like that. I guess something cool. So here's this song based in the key of whatever key this is, C. And then here's the same progression. Now we're adding another chord, still using the notes in that same key. So I just want you to hear this is normative chords. Here's the notes of this scale using a new chord. And hear that? It changed. These are normative chords. Chords built from the notes of the same scale. That's so we call it diatonic chords. You need to notice how this sounds. You need to remember the name, either diatonic or normative. Meaning here's chords, two different chords, but they're using only the notes of the scale they're in. And here's a third set. Now this will have three chords, all using only notes in this key. So this is a normative song. And here's a new chord. Now that sounds like a bunch of songs you do right now. You know. Sonny and me went down to the park all day long, and we sang a song of love. You know, I'm making that up. I'm just saying, there's a billion songs like that, but listen to this. It sounds like a mini song. It's got motion to it, direction. But on the other hand, it's sort of safe. You know, forget the timing or anything like that, because we can have a very aggressive, fast. This is twice as fast, like that. So this is what a normative song sounds like. Most of the songs that you know, that you've listened to in your life, are using predominantly, if not entirely, normative chords built from the notes of the scale. And that's because that sounds comfortable, and it can much more aggressive than this. I didn't want to hunt around for, craziness yet, because it's not, what you do not have in only normative chord song is you do not have harmonic aggressiveness or change. Okay, so now remember there's 7 notes in our scale. So if we follow that idea, well, there's 7 notes in our scale, and we're building chords from the notes of the scale, then what it would follow would be that there is a chord built on each of the 7 notes in a major key, and those are the normative chords. Those are the chords. And again, why am I telling you this? Because if you learn these, then you can play a song either much more using your ear or entirely by ear. You can teach your ear to hear the major chords and the minor chords. You can pick a song out on the radio. You can be not dependent on your music. You can write songs, and it depends on if it matters to you or not. You can learn, to understand music, period. Not because the little chart says it in front of you, but because your ear's going, yeah, that's the sound I was expecting, and that kind of stuff. So, anyway, so if we take, and I'm not explaining why, I'm just going to have to accept it as truth. But we build a chord on each of those notes. What we're going to get is we're going to get this sequence of chords, and in any key. That is, we're going to get, and look, that's a capital 1. And I don't understand why that's, I should show my little cursor. I don't know why it's not doing that. Well, it's doing that. Well, anyway, notice that is a capital 1, a small letter 2, a small letter 3, a capital 4, a capital 5, a small letter 6, and a small letter 7 with a little circle. So that is a major 1, a minor 2, a minor 3, a major 4, a major 5, a minor 6, and a diminished 7. So that means that or the implication of that is we went back to the key of G. We said, hey, the notes in the key of G are G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So what that means functionally is that that if a song was in the key of G, it would have a G major chord, an A minor, that was the second letter, an A minor. It would have a B minor. It would have a C major, the 4 chord, G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, a major 4. It would have a major 5, which is a D chord. It would have a minor 6, which is an E minor, and it would have a diminished, that little circle means diminished. It would have a diminished 7, and that would be an F sharp. Now, again, we left out our sharps and flats and stuff to make this easy, and that's okay. Because like I said, you're not going to make that mistake. You're going to be like, something's wrong. So just sharp it or flat it if it sounded wrong until you learn exactly how those notes work. So, and if a song was in the key of F, again, do this for me in your head right now. Go like, okay, F, what would the letters be for F? What would they be? They would be F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. That's 7 letters. And the first letter is F, so it's an F major. The next letter is a G, so it'd be G minor. Next letter is an A, so it'd be A minor. The 4 would be not B, but B flat. It's okay if you don't know that. We're learning that. But B flat major. The 5th would be a C major. The 6th would be a D minor. And then an E diminished. That would be a song in the key of F. If I played Happy Birthday in the key of F. Here I am in the key of F. Oh, baby, happy birthday to you. Not yet. Here. There's my little cursor. Cursor's off, out. There he is. All right, so it's going to say here, F. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you sorry sucker. Happy birthday to you. So that's the key of F. And then we did G back a minute ago. The same exact chords. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you sorry sucker. You're still a sorry sucker. Happy birthday to you. So, back to those normative chords. That is that sequence which you need to remember yourself. Major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, and diminished 7. I don't mean you memorize that like now you'll never have to ask about it again. I'm trying to say that as you learn that, try to remember that, you get an anchor for every song on the planet because most songs are going to use those chords. We noticed, or I mentioned, I haven't said it yet, but I'll say it now. Notice that there's 3 major chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5, and there's 3 minor chords, the 2, the 6, and the 4. And why would you notice that? Well, it might help you remember, and it might help you in your playing your song, and you'd be going along, and you're thinking about the next chord, and you're in the key of D, we'll say. And you say, I'm in the key of D, and that next chord I can hear it's a minor sound, it's a sad sound. And you think, well, I'm in the key of D, I got an E minor, I got an F sharp minor, I got a B minor. You're like, well, I'm already playing the E minor, so it's one of those two, F sharp minor or B minor. So, for example, we've eliminated and gotten to a much smaller set, tremendously smaller set of sounds than we had before. So, all right, now, let's listen to some diatonic using only notes in the key that we're in. Now, forget, I don't care about the guitar. The guitar, like I said, I would be playing the piano back behind me. This one here. I don't hear no sound. Where's my piano sound? Yeah, I'd be playing piano except I can't get to it too easy. So anyway, it'd be like, here's a diatonic song. Diatonic. Let's see. Silent night. Only notes in the key. Holy night. All is calm, all is bright, so, sleep in heavenly peace. Sounds predictable. Forget that it's a pretty song or a slow song. It just happens to be that way. Another song, Happy Birthday. Oh, I did Happy Birthday. Let's do well, I'll do Happy Birthday anyway. Here's Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you sorry sucker. Happy birthday to you. All those notes for those chords were all in the E scale. Only use those notes. And that's why it had tension, right? Happy birthday, you sorry sucker. No, sorry. Happy birthday to. Had a little tension. You. But it all sounded. Forget that you've sung it a million times, but a little bit predictable, understandable. And just another song as an example, which I'm not gonna, so many things. I would just play songs off the radio constantly. It's just that the copyright thing is just stupid. It's like, so you take 10 seconds of any song, and then they try to seize the whole the income for the whole video, every bit of it. 30-minute video for the 10 seconds of song. So anyway, but like Brown Eyed Girl. Where did it go? Days with the rain came. That's all in. It's not just. That's just an example. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of songs. Dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody feeling warm and right. So that song is just every chord is normative. Every chord is normative in Dancing in the Moonlight. Hundreds and not hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands of songs are either entirely normative slash diatonic, same meaning, and that's to have meaning to you means that this song only uses chords in this key. Nobody's asked me any questions or made any comments, so if you want to make a comment, suck on make it. But so anyway, those songs are using only notes in the key, and there are very many great songs, and I'm going to play some songs here. Yeah, just some songs. Just here's some. This is just. It's a good example. Pretty fun little song. It's nothing. No melody's gonna happen. This is just a auto-generated. And listen to it change, but it's still in the key. Still using notes in the key. Listen to this. So I'm just showing you different kind of songs. They're only using notes in the key. This is all diatonic, using or normative, using notes in the key. Here's another one. Like I said, I'm just trying to give you sounds. It's not the kind of song. It's I don't know if this guy. It's a cool song. Yeah, this is all what keys is in. It's all in the key C. Yeah. All normative. And again, that needs to have meaning to you. Not just words I'm saying. It means that every chord you heard, all the different chords, all using notes from the scale, da, whatever that happens to be. Does happen to be C, but if it wasn't A flat, it would still be da, that scale. Okay, so again, this is our first category of chord, diatonic chords, normative chords. The majority of sounds of all the songs in the world are using those chords. So, and you want to know that. You want to say I'm in the key of B flat, and you'd say, well, there's an E flat in here, and there's an E in here for sure, and the E 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 4 chord is some kind of E, and it's a major chord. And the 5 chord, B, C, D, E, F. The F chord is the 5 chord. It's a major chord too. So that's making it easier for you to play because you understand both from a left brain standpoint, math brain, what those would be, but also from a right brain sound and understand what those sounds would be. So now there's 2 other groups of chords, and which we already mentioned, and they are larger set of chords, but a smaller representation. And the first one is called motion chords. In motion chords, this is Mark Black says, motion chords are go away son, you bother me. So when you hear those chords, your ear says, go off of this chord, don't stay on this chord. Not because it sounds bad, but because it's got some sort of tension to it that pushes you away. So motion chords, again, just repeating, are chords that your ear says, I should move off of this chord. Not stinky poo chords, just chords that are moving off. So an easy example for this is the blues. So here's a blues. And what I want you to notice, here comes the blues. So right there, now think about that. Not because it's a blues, man, it's cool. It's because the notes of this, what we started with is bum, 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 bum. That note right there, 1, 3, 5. It's not the seventh note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the seventh note of the scale. Dun. What key this is? Yeah, it's in the key of C. So that opening chord is not using this note, which is the seventh note of the scale. It's using this note. It's altered from the key. It's altered. And it just so happens that this chord type is a motion, not emotion. It's a motion chord. Notice you want to get off of this. You want to say, baby, I got to get off this chord. So that's what the blues is about. This blues is, I got to get off this chord. And I got to get off this chord as well. So in a blues, typically every chord is a dominant 7 chord. Every chord is, there's back, but you're not happy there. You know, it's cool, but you're like, come on, it wants to go here. You get to that chord, you say, that is really cool, but you know, I got to get back to here. And then you go get off of that chord, finally get to this chord. You say, I got to get off of this. You go this one. You go, I got to get off of this one. You go back to this one. So, again, is this a video about blues? No, it is not a video about the blues. It's an example of how the blues are an easy, common example of motion chords. Chords that say, move off of me. Now, what is the qualifier? How do you know that you're listening to a motion chord? Well, first off, it's using notes that aren't in the key. If you're a piano player, if you're a piano player, you can't play the chords, the notes of you can't play a chord without knowing what the notes are. You'll be playing it wrong. Now, a guitar player, I'd be a guitar player, as you can see, but like millions and billions of guitar players are playing a C7, they do not have a clue what those notes are, which I'm not faulting them because I don't sit around and try to think of what these notes are either. But I'm saying, as we're playing different chords, guitar players, mandolin players, banjo players, bass players, you know, we play by shapes. There's various reasonable reasons for this. We play by shapes, and we don't know what the notes are. Therefore, for us, it's something we have to think more about. Are there these notes I'm playing in the key or not in the key? A piano player does not have that issue because they may not be paying attention, but they had to make C, E, G, B flat, and if they should know that the C scale's got no B flat in it. And so when they played a C7, they said, "This has got a note in it. It's not in this key. This must be a motion chord, or it could be a color chord." But if they heard it and said, "This makes me want to go someplace else," so when they noticed that they were using notes that aren't in the key, and they also noticed that this chord made me want to go to someplace else, and they could tell where it was. So this wants me to go. When you heard that, you would say that is a motion chord. And so there is one dominant 7. That's a letter with the number 7, a C7, a D7, a E7, F7, not minor 7, not major 7, just 7, D7, B flat 7, E flat 7. That's called a dominant 7 chord. The dominant 7 is probably the primary, most commonly used motion chord, not emotion, motion. And it wants to move a certain distance. It wants to move up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where it wants to go, sound-wise. And there's a reason for that I'm not going to go into because I don't got time for that. But it does want to move. There's one naturally occurring one in every key. That is in the key of the chord built on the 5th note of whatever key you're in. You're in the key of D. Go to the 5th note, D, E, F, G, A. A7, dominant 7, naturally is occurring, no alteration. It wants to go back to the D. And that's true. My point in the synopsis approach is that if you want to if you see more than one dominant seven in a song, I'm talking about more than one kind of dominant seven. At least one of those is a motion chord. It is a get off of me and go to something else. So here's some examples. Let's see. Yeah. All right. So let's play some here. Oh yeah, Silent Night. So here we go. Back to Silent Night. Forget. I don't care the chords. I care the sound. Silent Night. I remember it now. Holy night. Now listen. Here it comes. All is calm. I added that chord in. We didn't have it there in the earlier version. All is calm. Now I've created the desire to go to this chord. You know, all is calm. All. Now check this out. Same thing. All is bright. Now I've created the desire to go to this chord. Right. Now both of those two examples, this one and this one, two chords, are motion chords. And you'll notice that they actually involve some emotion. The motion chords involve emotion. So, okay. So, you'll notice that they want you to go someplace. I'm going to do it one more time. Silent night, holy night, all is calm. And when it wants to go someplace, and when you hear this chord, you go, oh, that's where I wanted to go. Now, if you learn more music theory, more how the music, that was up 4. It was a B7 chord. So I said they go up 4, right? B, E, F, no, B, C, T, E. There we go, that's 4. So B7 wants to go to E minor. That's what it did. All is calm, E minor. All is, now check this out, is bright. Now, there's more than, dominant sevens are not the only motion chords. And so this is 1, and this is 1. G7 wants to go G, A, B, C. Wants to go to C. Right round. So that's my C. I did a C major 7 chord because I'm being awfully cool. So anyway, that's an example of a motion chord. I am not thinking that we have time today to get through, and we're presenting a huge topic. All of music. And so in our presentation about all of music, I'm saying here's ideas and things that you need to pursue and look at. Now check this out. Here's another song. Just want to make an example. This is motion chords that are pushing you to new keys, or saying get off of me. Where's that thing? There it is. There you go. Okay. Jingle bells. Okay, check it out. This is all. Check this out right here. Now, could you tell? I'll turn that up a little bit. Actually, I'll just start that over again. Let's see if that was loud enough. We'll see if that is that loud enough. Now check it. Listen to the chord here, right here. Hear that chord? Dun, making you going bum 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 bum. As you want to go to this chord, that was a motion chord. Please. It was going bum ding 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 ding. It went bum 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 bum, and your ear said, "I gotta go, I gotta go, bum 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 bum." And here it comes. Bum. Here's this next one, right there. Bum 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 bum. Makes me want to go to bum. This is definitely Jingle Bells. Okay, so I'll give an example, two examples in that first, I think it was 4 measures of that song. 2 motion chords. Go off of me and go over here. Now notice it wasn't horrible sounding. It was actually quite natural sounding and cool. Because all of music, now I'll make a statement about all of music. All of music is about tension and resolution. So the song's going along, resolved and calm, tension for a moment, and then resolution. I'm sorry, I should have gone tension. Then it does says get off of me, suck, and go over here. So anyway, you're trying to catch this. Let's do one more. East Coast songwriter. Yeah, really? Oh yeah, I see what this is. This is a song we did a minute ago. This time, and it's all normative chords. Now, all these songs, almost all good songs, are going to be a big mix of all this stuff. They're not just going to do one kind of thing. This is all normative. What does that mean? Using notes in the key. Nothing out. If I was playing a scale. Okay, check it out. Listen to this. It's what we expected. Sad. Now listen this time. Here it comes. So, dun, 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 dun. He set you up dun, 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 for a change. He said, no, baby, we ain't doing like we did it before. We're going to do something better. So we're going to motion, get off of me. Bum, 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 dun. And he added in a motion chord saying to go someplace else. So for right now, the only thing that I'm trying to get you to get is that when you're listening to these sounds, you're going to listen to sounds, and some of them, like so far, we got two kinds of sounds. We have sounds where you say, hey, that just seemed all comfortable. And it's super cool. The guy's playing so fast. For example, bluegrass or a lot of rock and stuff, a lot of country music. The guy's playing like, he's just blowing the doors off. He's so fast. But it's all in the same key. That doesn't mean it's anything negative. It's all great. It's just, it has a speed dimension and linear dimension, but it does not have a vertical chord harmonic dimension of challenge. So it's anyway. So we talk about those songs: normative chords, diatonic, using the notes in the scale. Now we talked about motion chords, chords that move. And all I'm trying to get you to think of is, hey, that chord sounded like it's one of those chords that you move. Because when he played it, I wanted to move. Go someplace else to the next. Oh, it went to the chord I was expecting. And you're trying to discover those. Now here is a just to see, and again, we're not trying to memorize this. I'm just giving you examples. Here are chords, the 5 of 2, 5 of 3, 5 of 4, 5 of 5, 5 of 6. These are examples. Just to go ahead and be stupid and do it right now live and on purpose. So if you're in the key of C and you had an A7 chord, because what's supposed to be in the key of C is an A minor. If you had an A7, that would push you to a D minor. And that would sound like this. So the song we're going... So there was the A7. Tension, please go away. Please go to here, and we go there. Now, and that if we were to give that a name, and you don't have to remember this name now, it'd be way sufficient for you to just notice, hey, I heard that song, that chord wanted to go someplace. But since the D minor is the 2 chord, the second note in the key of C, and A7 is pushing us to it, that is the 5, 7 of 2. It has a name. It's predictable. Is the only thing I'm trying to get to you. So you don't have to memorize that. It's just you're just trying to a lot of things I'm trying to say is that these things are predictable and replicable, learnable. It's not magic, and it's not really all that hard. And the best thing about it, I'm trying to get in your head, is that you already hear these things. You already hear these things. The reason you like the music you like is because your love of or hatred of or whatever, all these things that are here, and we're really just sort of like you. It's like you love Chinese opera for some reason, and you just think it's beautiful, and you love to hear it, and you think the way those ladies sing is just the best thing. But you don't speak any Chinese, and you just love it and love it and love it. And then somebody comes along and over time teaches you Chinese, and suddenly you understand the plots and all this kind of stuff. That's what we're saying. You love music. Your ear just said, "Oh, this is so great, so great," and a bunch of it. If we could just get to where you understood it, then you could turn it around and play better and sing better. That's what we're getting at. All right. So, all right. Now, so we're now to our last category of chord. Now, again, this is our whatever. 30,000 foot view of all the chords. Only 3 kinds of chords. So we had diatonic chords, but I'll never say that. Normative chords, but you can say diatonic. Motion chords, chords that push, go someplace else. And then lastly, color chords, chords that say, I am so cool. I am the coolest sound. But they do not tell you where to go. They're just a cool sound. Not just, they're a cool sound without a direction attached. They're a cool color. And another term for them is altered and borrowed chords. So these are pretty sounds and aggressive sounds and sad sounds and things like that. So now let's listen to some songs, examples of these sounds. And let's see, we did this a minute ago, and I cut it out before it got to, let me get to it. Let me back up a little bit. So this is all very normative, very just in the key. What I'm saying, normative, I want you to hear just fixing to come up. A color chord. A chord not in the key, but does not tell us where to go by ear. A little further on than I thought. Here it comes. So that chord, ba, ba, yeah. So he's going along. I don't know what it is, something like this. Then he goes, nah. And your ear went. It said, hey, Jeffrey. Your ear said, that is cool. You might not have liked it. But your ear said, whoa, what is that? But on the other hand, unlike the other chords and the motion chords, when we hear this sound, we don't go, now what? We don't know where to go now. Our ear is not telling us a place to go. So that is an indicator of a color chord. Now, why would we care for a difference between motion chords and color chords? Motion chords that tell us where to go, motion chords that do not tell us where to go, because they have names. Because what I'm saying is that we can learn that. So we can hear this sound and we can say, this is the key of C. So we're in the key of C. We hear this sound. So here's our, da. So that sound, so you say, that's not in the key. That's an unusual sound, but I don't know where to go with that. So then you would automatically go to, in your thinking, in your learning, you would go to this list here. You would say, wait a minute. Those color chords, here's some of those color chords. I wonder if it's one of those chords. Not just because we want a little cute name, oh, it's a color chord. But rather, we want to say, okay, maybe it's the flat 6. Is it? Nope. Maybe it's the flat 7. It is the flat 7. So by giving them names, we eliminate, for example, if you can say, this is a motion chord. Then you can say, well, this is not. This is, what did I just say? A motion chord, yeah. I'm changing. You can say, if you say, well, that's a motion chord that wants to go someplace, then you know it's not a normative chord. There's 7 chords. 7 normative chords you've eliminated. It's not any of those. And you want to learn what those are, right? Major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, like that. And then the same thing, you said, this is a color chord. You say, well, it's not one of those motion chords. It's not the 502. It's not the 503. It's not the normative chords. It's not the major 4. It's not the major 5. So by doing that, now what is that? Because you're going to take a test, and they're going to say, all right, now, son, to be an official musician, you have to analyze it. No. What we're trying to say is, I want to play by ear. I want to be able to play by notes. I want to be able to play by ear. I want to be able to play physically skilled also. Those are the 3 ways we learn. So I want to be able to play by ear, and I want to be able to play by reading and being smart, and I want to be able to play skillfully. And if I get all 3 of those things working for me, each one is easier. Each one doesn't take as much pressure because each one has got its little parts. So, okay, well, Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of example. Say again, color chords, altered notes. The two definitions are motion chords and our color chords. Uh, Using that, why are they named that? Because they're not using notes. They're using a note or more that's not in the key. And then some of them want to move a motion chord. Some of them are just interesting sounds. So this song went. It went. Something, something like that. Oh, baby. And then it went. Doesn't. That was two color chords. It went. Not in the key. That's a G minor in the key of C. G, A, B, C. I'm sorry. Sorry. C, D, E, F, G. Five chord. G major. G major's in this key, but I'm playing a G minor. G minor. Sounds pretty cool. I'm going down. And you know what this song sounds like? It sounds like Jessica by the Allman Brothers. A lot. Regardless. So we're trying to learn to put these songs in different styles. Now, if anybody wants to start asking me questions or saying something, please feel free to do that. And at the moment, because nobody is saying anything, I can't believe this. I was so worried. I figured this would take 100 years. I figured I'd be doing this in a 2078 still, and I've gone through the history of music, and at the moment, 50 minutes. I'm pretty impressive. So let's listen to some songs, and let's see. I was trying to get on my Silent Night. Silent night, all is calm, all is bright. But this motion round virgin child. Now see, that is a color chord. Because where you want to go with that? You don't know where to go with it. You can use your brain and say, well, my brain knows what that chord is, and I'm not going to make it so you can't see. My brain knows what key that chord that is, and my brain can say, well, that would go here. But my ear, I'm actively saying, my ear's not actually telling me to go anyplace. A particular chord now. So that's fine. And so it's a color chord, and I'm not trying to be slippy on my definition. I'm trying to say, and just by the way, we can hit music. Sadly, it's pretty complicated. Can be pretty complicated. So actually, any group of notes can be multiple chords, and depending on how you use a chord, sometimes it can be a motion chord or a color chord. Don't worry about that. It's much better, much bigger idea that the truths that I'm saying are much more overarching. In other words, this what we're saying is good for 95% of music, and so that's good. So anyway, I was trying to say, I did it. Hold around, virgin child. Color chord. I'm playing an E chord. And I don't have an anticipation feeling that I want to go to A minor. So a color in the song. Now we're going to listen to some songs, and we're just going to talk about them. Now I put this song right in the front. Actually, I'm going to do this song first. And I know it has a bunch of sounds. Super cool, baby. Now, I want you to notice you're expecting that. I don't mean it. You knew you hadn't heard the song before, of course, but I'm just saying you didn't go. You just went like, yeah. Mm-hmm. You repeat, right? Because that's a normal part of music. We repeat to establish resolution. Okay, right there. Check it out. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. That's the 5 chord. One, ba, 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 ba. Hey, Mark. I see you there, man. Thank you for listening. All right, so we're trying to get these chords. We don't. Yes, in the full fruition of this, you'd say, what is this? This is a C minor. Full fruition of this, you'd say this is a 4-chord. You know, you'd be figuring it all out by ear. But the start would just be, I heard chords that were all in the same key. And let's start. I understand, for example, I'm starting over because I want you to notice this. The 5 chord sounds pretty, I would say it sounds aggressive. Listen right here. But it just points us back. And I don't remember this close enough to see. I don't remember where it's going to go. Just repeating, so. Oh, I know where it's going to go. Check this out. Coming up. Check it out, and hey, check it out. Our song modulated, and it went from C to its relative major. Now you don't care about that. I'm sorry, I even mentioned it. It went to and it used this chord to get there, or something like that. Let's back up just a tad. So we're just only thing we're trying to do is locate normal sounds that push us a certain place and we can tell where they want us to go, and sounds that are just cool and interesting. Notice this all just sounds like the song started off in this key. So it's in this new key. That's got to get us back. It's like get back to the funky. So I'm saying if we're listening to this song, what this song is doing, just describing back in our context, normative chords, motion chords, color chords. Our song is going from a minor key to the major key that uses the same notes. And it has 2 transition, which we would, in this case, be motion chords, saying go to this new key. It's okay that you got that or didn't get it, because we're just saying, check this out, different songs. So here's another song. It's called Soulful Uplifting Ballad. So I suppose it better be uplifting. Whoa! Wow! Now, remember a minute ago, we're talking about normative chords and being cool? This is all normative. There's nothing in it that's not in the key. So, just as an example, this is all using the D scale. All normative. Listen to it. Now, I'm assuming that you guys would be listening to this and be like, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. What I want you to, just mentioning, I'm using this song in here, because I want you to, you may not, normative does not mean boring. Normative means doesn't have notes that aren't in the key. And it's not, it's pretty hard to quantify, why would that not be boring? If you told me, hey, this song's got just these 7 notes, I would say instantly that's got to be the most boring thing on the planet, and it's not true. So anyway, I just want to comment. This sounds pretty cool to me. All normative. Minor, but it's in the key. Ba. Let's see the B part. Okay, I was trying to see if it had a contrasting section, which a lot of songs you'll take advantage of the second in the B or later in the bridge to have a contrasting section, so you're going, whoa. Let's see if it. I don't think it's gonna happen. Okay, so I'm really quite happy that song was in there because yeah, that is pretty cool, Mark. That's normative. Now, what I'm trying to get at, besides the normative, does not mean boring at all. Almost every song that you do and love is normative. So that I love is normative. And if it didn't have normative, that means if it was using a lot of notes that aren't in the key, you would never feel comfortable. You have to, in other words, I have long hair. It's stuck in this. It's behind my strap. Here it is. It's long. So I have long hair. And of course, 70 years ago, that was a lot weirder. And it's not that unusual now, but it wouldn't be unusual at all if everybody had long hair. So what creates tension and resolution? And as you probably know, like the current curse words of today were just normal words 500 years ago. It's just a word for something. And somebody said, hey, and started using it. And what I'm saying is it's usage. So in this case, I'm trying to say that, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say we have to have those normative sounds, those notes in the scale, so when we do something not in the scale, it stands out. Oh, that's not in the scale. But if we never had an anchor, we would have atonal music, which sucks. And everybody knows, but won't admit. Anyway, all right, so let's listen to another one. So that was a good example of normative and still pretty cool. All right, let's listen to... well, that's what it says. Oh, no, Backstabbers did that. Okay, we did that. And I'm hanging on. Let's do... Oh, now... Well, let's try this. This is... Oh, gosh, I love this. Listen to this chord right here. That chord right there. That ought to just be emblazoned on your forehead. Will it be related if the bass adds notes from a colored chord or a motion chord when the lead instruments are playing normative chords? That's a great question. What it is what a person has to do to add, let's say a D minor chord. It's D, F, and an A. And a B flat major 7 is those three notes, D, F, A, and you put a B flat in it. And then, so here's a D minor. And if you put it, I'm going to try to do it so it's pretty hard to do. I picked a bad example. And if I put here's the D minor. Don't forget the fingering though. Here's D minor. Sorry. And if I put a B flat in the bass of that, okay, now I've got a B flat major 7. So yeah. So first off, you can do that sort of thing. Period. That's not quite the answer to Leap's very good question. It's so you can change notes. You can say like on that D minor, D, F, A. You can make the D an F sharp. And guitar player can do it, piano player can do it, bass player can do it. What you have to be careful of is you can't clash. So if nobody, you play the D minor, everybody playing D, F, A, and then you, bass player, slip into B flat, and depending on the style, it'd be like, whoa, it's super cool, But it ain't gonna be super cool if somebody's playing an A in the low, things like that. So the answer is, depending on the style and what other people are doing, you can do that sort of change. And you'll hear a lot of groups that, on the more... I don't know, cutting edge is the right word, but interesting, or that's a bad word. In no sense are they better. It's just more complicated music, and then also a little more interactive. And they get used to changing. We always make this change. Delete always going crazy with these bass notes, And they think that's they say, let's do that. Let's let him do that, And typically a more typical thing would be adding things. Bass player adds things, somebody else changes the quality of a chord, playing a major chord instead of a minor chord, and then they say, that was really cool, let's keep that. Oh yeah, the B flat and the bass, let's keep that, that's cool. So doing it spontaneously is a little hard to do because of the clash potential. Definitely can't have one person playing a major chord and another place and playing a parallel minor. Like I play D minor, you play D major. That's going to sound like a real clash. Okay, so I wanted to say about scooting over, and y'all just keep asking questions now, but I want you to notice how cool right there. Uh. Here it is. Oh yeah. Woo. So I want you to hear a little simple groove, 4 chords, with that motion chord out of the key, in the key. Oh, what's that? Then he takes us there. Here we go. And another one there, right there, color chord. So I'm just super cool. Okay, now. All right, and can I play that? Grind's Coffee House Groove. Seemed like that was a. Guess not. Let's do that. I've got 2 more examples, but they're just examples to talk about. Y'all ask questions like you're doing it. If I can just find that. Where is it? Oh man, I don't see it. I guess I erased it. Huh. Okay. Well, in that case, oh, there it is. Let's see what this sounds like. I think I don't remember quite what this is. Oh yeah. This is Mark Chris. Got Mark Chris written all over it. Okay, is this normative? Is this is this got motion? You know, chords out of the key? Is it got color chords? What do you think? This was louder than this. Okay, so normative, motion chords, color chords. I don't see anybody committing over here. I guess it doesn't get louder. Okay, doesn't get louder. Anyway, no, that was all normative. Not a note in that. Everything in that was in. And just want to say, here's just as an example, here's all the, and these are only notes, and I'll just go ahead. So you know those are all 7 chords available in that key. So just to say, we can do a lot of cool things. Okay, last song. I left because it's a super cool, I think, but also it's just a good mix of all these sounds. I think it is, and I can't quite see my thing. I guess you noticed. Ah, there we go. Right there. Okay, now. So this is not. It's obviously smooth jazz, R&B, different kind of names you could say for it. I don't know why it doesn't seem very loud. Let's take a look at that one more time. But I want you to notice coming right out of it. Here's the. That's better. Okay, so here we have the 1 chord. It was normative. Normative, now check it out. This is normative also, but right here, he's pointing, and then he goes, and check it out. You hear that sound? It's like, what a, it's like, what is that chord? Now here, just want to say in the things we've talked about. So here you say, that is not in the key. That's very unusual. But he just went, la da. Where's the chord? There it is. So you just went, you just played that chord, and you don't know where to go from it. You don't know. Obviously, you go here, and I'm just saying. So it is a color chord. It is not a secondary dominant or a motion chord. You know, it is going to here. It is a one of the flat 6, flat 2, flat 3. They're not. That's not the only kind. For example, just a song. I should call it a song in key of D. Baby, don't you look so ever home, marry you, honey. It's a D. So check this out. So I'm playing the D chord, and your ear's expecting a G major, or just a G. And a G chord is what I want to hear. But instead, I played a G minor. The G minor doesn't lead me anyplace. I'm talking about. I don't know now what to do. I can extrapolate and say, well, this would be cool. But that's just me making up other sounds. But there's nothing about the ear that says when you play this, you need to go someplace. So I'm just talking to you. You hear that sound and you say, unusual, but doesn't direct me. It is a color chord. Let's let this play a little bit longer. Now that. This is mixing up the lots, and that's it. That's a color chord. Color. Add another color. Yeah. And of course, this is a smooth jazz version of sleep in heavenly peace. Okay. That's crazy, man. Stick in my earplugs better and you can hear the bass come, and hear the overtones to it. Okay, so now listen. So in the description, there was a link to pretty much everything we did except none of the listings for the song examples. And it would have done no good to put those in because of Mr. Evil Copyright, I hunted for songs that were, I basically wrote a bunch of, or arranged, or whatever you want to call it, put together a bunch of songs that are nobody's songs, so you can't get them for copyright. So, and I do have this version of Silent Night here if anybody wants it. I'd be glad to send it to you. Doesn't have any words. So anyway, so this is Mark Teaches Music. This is our winter, what do you call them? Winter music seminars. There's another one at 4:30 in 15 minutes, and it is on the 7 deadly practice sins. And everybody does these things, including myself, if you're not careful. So it's how to get the most out of your practice, because everybody has things naturally that they do wrong, poorly, in practicing. So I encourage you to come to that. So this one was about, there's only three main kind of chords. There's normative chords built on the key. Another name is diatonic. There's 7 of them. Major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7. You can learn those exactly. All scales are built on A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so with a 4 chord in any E scale is E, F, G, A. Some kind of A. A major, not A major. It's A major, but A major or A flat major. You know. So that's your start. Do motion chords. Chords that move make you want to go to another chord. Like I say, go away, son, you bother me. And when you hear that, you say that. When you hear a chord, you say that's something changed, but I also can tell where it wants me to go. Then that is a motion chord. And the examples on your chart that you should have is 5 of 2, 5 of 3, 5 of 4 like this. There's more than that, but that's a good start. And the primary start is just the idea. And the third kind is color chords. Chords, again, something in there that's not in the key, but I don't quite know where to go. And you put those all together, there's just hundreds of really super sounds, all the music. And you heard we played country songs, and we played rock songs and R&B songs, and we did jingle bells, and we did blues. And my point is not how cool this is, but music is cool. It's not a kind of music. I was really glad we hit some of those examples of normative songs that sounded pretty cool, because it's nothing to do with excitement. There is a harmonic excitement by putting in motion and color chords, but that doesn't make them good or bad. So I'm gonna stop, and if you're interested in lessons, go to www.dallasmusiclessons.com, and there's information about lessons. And then there's another one here in 15 minutes, and it's on the site, and they'll be up in 10 minutes or so. Okay, so you guys be cool.